Part 1. A Normal Walk Home. St. Louis, Missouri, September 14th, 2021. It was the kind of late afternoon that meant summer was ending. The sun hung low, casting long shadows between rows of aging brick homes on the city's south side. In the neighborhood of Tower Grove East, it was a Tuesday like any other. Kids playing in yards, dogs barking behind fences, and a gentle wind moving through the trees. 12-year-old Lily Anderson was walking home alone for the first time in weeks. School had just let out at 4 p.m., and she'd stayed after for art club, her backpack weighed down with sketchbooks and colored pencils. Her mom usually picked her up, but that day, traffic on I-55 was backed up because of a wreck. So they agreed Lily would take the shortcut, a narrow alleyway that cut between Shenandoah Avenue and their street on Arkansas Avenue. It wasn't far, just 3 blocks, and she'd walked it a dozen times. She texted her mom, "Taking the alley now. See you in 5. At that moment, she didn't notice the silence, the kind of silence that feels heavy, like something's watching. 3 blocks away, in a fenced-in backyard, a brown mutt with one torn ear lifted his head. Max. He wasn't pure anything. Maybe part shepherd, maybe part pit, maybe something else entirely. But his eyes were sharp, and his ears twitched at the smallest noise. He'd been taken in 6 months earlier by the Anderson family after Lily found him huddled under a bench in the park. No tags, no chip, just a shivering, skeletal frame and eyes that wouldn't look away from her. Since then, he rarely left her side. At that moment, Max stood, tail stiff, nose in the air. And then he ran. The gate was latched, but not locked. He hit it hard, shoulders first. It groaned, buckled, then swung open just wide enough for him to slip through. He was gone in seconds, moving fast, nose down, paws thudding against the pavement. Lily heard the footsteps just after she passed the graffiti-tagged dumpster halfway through the alley. At first, she thought it was someone behind her, another student, a neighbor. Nothing unusual. Then the voice came. "Hey, wait a second." She turned. Slowly. The man wasn't someone she recognized. Mid-30s, maybe, wearing a gray hoodie and jeans. His hands were deep in his pockets, and he was smiling, but the smile didn't reach his eyes. "Need help with your bag?" he asked, taking a step closer. Lily's instincts flared. She shook her head. "No, I'm okay. My house is right there." She turned to walk faster. He stepped quicker. "Wait, I just want to talk." Then he lunged. She screamed. The man grabbed her arm, yanking her backward. Her backpack swung sideways and nearly knocked her off her feet. She twisted, kicking, trying to pull free. But his grip was too strong. And that's when Max arrived. A brown blur shot into the alley with a snarl that echoed like a crack of thunder. In one leap, Max was on him, front paws planted on the man's chest, jaws snapping. The attacker screamed, stumbled backward, tripped, and hit the ground hard. Max didn't stop. He growled low. His body coiled between Lily and the man, teeth bared. The man scrambled up, looked once at Max, then at Lily, and ran. Lily collapsed to her knees, sobbing. Max turned to her, whining softly now, licking her face. He didn't chase the man. He didn't need to. He'd already done what he came to do. When Lily's mom pulled up minutes later, she found her daughter curled on the sidewalk outside their home, arms wrapped around Max. Her phone had fallen somewhere in the alley, but a neighbor had seen them and called. Lily was shaking. Her words came out in gasps. But she kept repeating the same phrase. "He tried to grab me. Max saved me. Max saved me." Her mother, Jenna, had trouble processing what she was hearing. But as the details came out, the alley, the man, the attack, her blood ran cold. She wrapped her arms around Lily, holding her so tight it was hard to breathe. Then she looked at Max. The dog's tail was low, his head down, but his eyes never left Lily's. The police came quickly. Detectives canvassed the alley, took Lily's statement, and collected surveillance footage from nearby homes and stores. One camera captured part of the encounter. A tall man approaching Lily, the sudden movement, the chaos, then a dog rushing in from the corner of the frame. "Your daughter's lucky," one officer said. "If that dog hadn't shown up," he didn't finish the sentence. Instead, he turned to Max and crouched beside him. "You did good, boy." The footage aired on local news that night. Family dog fends off attacker in South St. Louis. Girl saved by shelter rescue. One brave bark. Reporters stood on the corner near the alley. The family declined interviews, but the video spread quickly. Within hours, Max was a local hero. People brought treats to the Andersons' porch. Someone left a thank you card addressed to the goodest boy. The local animal shelter posted Max's story, and it was shared over 40,000 times in 2 days. But inside the house, behind the curtains, the mood was quieter, heavier. Lily didn't want to go outside, didn't want to go to school, didn't sleep for more than a few hours at a time. The attack had only lasted seconds, but it lived in her mind like it had lasted hours. Max stayed close. He followed her from room to room, slept at the foot of her bed, rested his head on her lap when she sat on the couch and stared into space. He never barked, never whined. He just stayed. One night, Jenna found Lily in the hallway, sitting against the wall in the dark. "I was dreaming," Lily said softly. "But Max licked my hand. I think he knew." Jenna sat beside her daughter and pulled her close. "He's not going anywhere." A week later, police made an arrest. The man had been spotted on a security camera 2 miles away, still limping. He had a history: 2 prior arrests for stalking and a bench warrant out of Illinois. When officers brought Lily in to identify him, she nodded silently. That night, she slept through until morning. The city offered an award for Max, and a local charity offered to fund his food and veterinary care for life. But Harold, Lily's grandfather, had the final word. He doesn't need a medal. He told the reporter who called. He just needs her, and she needs him. They didn't argue. It was nearly 3 weeks before Lily agreed to walk down the block again. Not alone, never alone. But with Max at her side and her mother close behind, she took her first steps past the hedges, down the sidewalk, and toward the corner where the alley entrance yawned between 2 garages. She paused there. Max paused too. The wind rustled the chain-link fence. A lawnmower buzzed somewhere in the distance. Lily's fingers tightened around the leash. "I'm okay," she whispered, though no one had asked. Max looked up at her, tongue out, tail gently wagging. He didn't tug forward. He didn't rush. He simply stood, waiting. And after a long moment, Lily exhaled and kept walking. Her story didn't fade. The footage was shared nationally, then picked up by cable news. She was offered interviews, podcasts, school assemblies. At first, her family declined everything. But eventually, with her therapist's encouragement, Lily chose one. It was a local fundraiser for rescue animals. The shelter that had posted Max's photo that fateful week in March was holding a community event, and they wanted Lily to be their guest of honor. "Only if Max gets a seat too," she said. He did. The day of the event, a crowd gathered on folding chairs outside the shelter. Banners hung from trees. Kids petted adoptable dogs. People held signs with paw prints and slogans like "Rescued by a Rescue" and "Adopt heroes, not just pets." When Lily stepped up to the microphone, Max at her heel, a hush fell over the crowd. She was taller than people expected, steady, calm. Her voice was soft, but it carried. "I used to think dogs were just pets," she began. "That they liked belly rubs and food and lying in the sun. And that was enough." She looked down at Max. "But Max is more than a pet. He's family. And when I needed help, he knew." She paused, eyes scanning the crowd. "You don't always get to choose your heroes, but sometimes they choose you." The crowd applauded, some wiping away tears. Max barked once, then sat, tail thumping against the platform. That night, as the house grew quiet and the moon painted shadows on the floor, Lily lay in bed with Max curled against her legs. "Do you think you knew what was going to happen?" she whispered. Max didn't move. "But you came anyway." She reached out and rested her hand on his head. "Thank you." Final reflection. Some heroes wear uniforms. Some drive fire trucks or carry badges. And some just have 4 legs, a torn ear, and a heart that understands more than words ever could. Max didn't chase fame. He didn't know what saving meant. He only knew that his girl was in danger, and that was enough. If this story touched you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes in the quiet power of love and loyalty. Tell us in the comments, has an animal ever saved you? Because sometimes the best parts of life come wrapped in fur and found in alleyways.